All right, so in this lick, we're going to talk about chromatic movement again, how Guthrie goes from one position of a pentatonic scale to another, but inserts some chromatic notes to just make it sound a little more slick and less boxy and scalular. This is something Guthrie uses all the time. You'll hear in these 20 licks that we go over, almost a high percentage of them will be discussing chromatic movement. But if you notice, each time it's slightly different the way he does it. Whereas most of us have stock licks we go to, we like certain patterns and shapes, or we do 3-note per string kind of ideas. Whenever he does an idea or concept, he always twists it up just a little bit so it doesn't sound recognizable. You can almost never pick out Guthrie's, like, oh, I've heard that lick a million times before. And that's what's so amazing about his playing. So this idea is basically, we're in B minor pentatonic in the 7th fret, right? And he starts out by just sliding in and bending a few pentatonic notes. All pentatonic. Right? And right there is where he shifts from this position to this position. Right? He's just taken 2 positions of the pentatonic scale and he's going. And that's where he throws in those chromatic, and it's only really one chromatic note on the B string, because the first position is, right? And the second position is, he's just thrown in this one note. And it sounds out over a B, because it's the major 7, but when it's in passing, you don't get that out sound, but it does add to it not being boxy and just all pentatonic, right? And then he also adds a chromatic note. It's really within the key, but it can be considered an approach tone, if you want, on the E string from the 9th fret to the 10th fret. Because again, the patterns are, right? But he takes that 9th fret and he slides into the 10th fret, which is within the scale. Then he does what looks like 2 chromatic notes again up here on the high E string. So you have, right? And it's all very slick, and what you can take out of this again is moving from position. Just start throwing in little chromatic notes wherever you want. So we'll do, again, we'll go back to A minor pentatonic. And we'll go to the next position. And we'll go to the next position. And the next position. Right? We'll do 4 positions of A minor pentatonic. And we'll just start experimenting with throwing in little chromatic notes to get up and down. So you have, that's exactly what he did, but now in A minor pentatonic. So if you see, I was playing off of the E and the B string, and I was just, to get to the next position, I was just throwing in a few chromatic notes, and wherever I landed on the note within the scale is where I ended. So you can do that going up and down, do it on different strings, do it in between arpeggios, just start throwing in little chromatic notes to move you a few frets over to the next position of wherever you're going.